What's going on, YouTube? It's James with Highborn Fantasy Battle Report, and I got a 3,000 point game today against Dan and his Highborn Elves, excuse me. So more or less, I got we have the Gauntlet coming up. The Gauntlet is a 3,000 point tournament, 9th age for that I'm running actually in the Midwest region, but basically at the Dice Dojo in Chicago. So I want to start prepping up for this. I'm actually this is one of the lists. I like this list specifically because it's kind of like well balanced. I have infantry units, I have shooting units, I have magic units, I have chaff killers, I have chaff, I have big monsters, I have everything basically. I have a little bit of everything going around. So I wanted to play this and I wanted to see how we could do. Now Dan plays a very combat oriented Highborn elf list. So and I really wanted to play Dan because I haven't played Dan in forever. And Dan's army, when he's on point, it gives me a really hard time just because they're faster than me, they have better attacks than me, they have more strength than a lot of my units. They could take out a good chunk of my guys. So I've actually was plotting and planning to see what I could do to combat against what he brought. What goes against what. So that's what I'm coming with. I'm coming with my orcs. I'm trying to figure out what I could bring. Let's go ahead and start seeing what we have on both sides. So first up, as you can see, it is my giant horde right here. 40 orc Ed Bashers. Common orc Ed Bashers. These guys are going nuts. They're screaming. They're freaking looking like a massive horde. Massive green. A green tidal wave, as they say. And I am totally okay with it. I love it. So I do have my BSB in there. You can see him right in the middle. That's Bebop. Bebop has the Ironhide banner, and that is giving that whole unit a 5-up ward against shooting, but doesn't do shit against Dan's units here. Anyways, I do have my level 4, and I cannot find him. He's actually 2 to the right of my BSB. You really can't see him because he's kind of short compared to everybody else, and it's just like this massive chaos going on in checkers and green and red. Anyways, here's another picture. You can see more of an aerial view of what's going on. And then, as you can see right here, this is my unit of forest goblins. 20 forest goblin skirmishers. They have throwing axes. They have short bows. I am still going to. That's actually the proper size skirmish tray. I made the size of the tray. I still have to get a metal sheet to go on the bottom to glue on there so they could stay magnetized. And I'm going to go ahead and make some scenery so they can pop up and go around and do whatever they need to on there. But then over here, this is a unit of 30 or 29 cave goblins. They have 3 fanatics. They have nets. They have the level 2 shaman with them. The level 2 shaman has Lore of Shadow and a book for an extra spell. On the level 4 that was in the orc unit, he has the Lore of Wilderness, and he also has the Backlash Scroll, which is one of my new favorite items. But the forest goblins, I forgot to mention, also have the poison banner. These guys don't have anything. They just have short bows, madgets, and nets. Over here, this is my new favorite unit right here, the Gnasher Herd. There's about 27 of them. I actually ran out of models to put out there, so I actually put one of the old herders as one of the Gnashers. But I still have more of these the old what I was going to use them as what are they called? The winged guys, the Vargeists? No, not Vargeists. The other one. I think they are Vargeists. Yeah, I think they are Vargeists. That was my Vargeist model when I was doing Undeath. And I do have 2 more of them, so that could cover me for another 8 models. But I think after around that point, I should just buy more little guys. Over here, I have two Git launchers, and then that shaman in the middle on the wolf is a level 1 shaman, Lore of the Little Gods. He has a Vindictive Glare spell, or Evil Eye spell, excuse me, and he's actually just my Dispel Scroll caddy. Over here, on the left, that is my Stone Thrower, the Splatterer, and then on the right, that is the Dragon Rammer. Now, this is something I was cracking up, like by all means, I was cracking up while I was taking this picture, was the fact that the Dragon Rammer is bigger than the War Machine. It's huge compared to the War Machine. There's something wrong with this picture here. Over here, this is my trusty A-Rock, the Ragnarok, the Gargantula. He has been extremely useful in this whole ninth edition. He's been very. I mean, it's the same stat line regardless of 8th edition versus ninth age, but he is just such a staple in my army that he just kind of like holds his own wherever he goes. And then the other staple, Lord, or I'm sorry, King Chickenhead. King Chickenhead is back. He is rocking the Bane Beast halberd. He also has a Sprout of Rebirth and a Dragon Helm. Over here, this is a unit of Goblin Wolf Riders, Raiders, and they're just basically chaff, short bows, shields, light armor. Over here, this is my new giant. This is I know it's a Gorgon model, guys. I don't care that it's a Gorgon model, but it is my giant. I feel like it's definitely orky enough. It's a giant Minotaur. I still have to do the tattoos. I mean, this is not even fully painted or based or anything like that, but I just started doing him. But I wanted to pull it out to see, like, you know, him in action. And then over here I have my General Warboss Dread Irontooth and his trusty steed Nidhogg. As for my opponent Dan, you can kind of have seen all the stuff he brought in the background, but anyways, right here he has the giant Phoenix, and this is one of the things I was not thinking of when I was building the list. I wasn't thinking like, oh, he's going to bring a Phoenix. I rarely see Dan bring his Phoenix out. I was kind of thinking that he was going to bring his General out on a Dragon or a Griffin or something like that, but to the left of the Phoenix, you do see he has 2 bolt throwers. They are not repeater bolt throwers, they're just a single shot bolt thrower. And then on the right, I'm going to get a better picture. He has a big block of a horde of white lions, and it's about like 37 white lions, or yeah, I think it's 37 white lions. And he takes his caster in there. They do have a banner that protects them from some crap. I don't know. Over here, he has his Coast Guard unit, and that's a giant block of Coast Guard actually. And then over here, he has his Sword Masters, and he's taking them out 7 wide. He has 2 chariots. Both of them are going to be white lion chariots, even though one's horses. And then in the front there, you can see he has his level 2 lore master of whatever it is, and then he has his BSB. And then, like I said, he has these 2 repeater throwers here. Over here, he has his dragon princes, or the Knights of Rima. Excuse me, they're not dragon princes. The Knights of Rima, and then on the left, he has his, I guess, elf knights. I don't know what the hell they're called, but he has 2 units, or he has 3 units of Elaine Reavers, and that's his fast cav. And then, as you can see, those are the backside of those guys. My magic spells, I got Evil Eye, like I said. I got Shadow Miasma, I got Devouring Darkness, and I got Glimpse of the End. I also got, for my Wilderness, I got Curse of the Wildwood, Inner Fury, Redwood Shaft, and Raging Storm. I was going to use the, I got a couple doubles. I got a couple things I could kind of play with. I could use the signature or not. I was looking at that Redwood Shaft, and I was going to use it either on the Bird or on the War Machine. And that's what I was thinking of the whole time when I got it. The Curse of the Wildwood's like an auto for me. If I get that, I'm like happy, because that forcing a whole giant block of horde to take dangerous terrain whenever they move, and they will move, because nobody just wants to sit there for a turn, causes a good chunk of them to die. A good chunk of them. Raging Storm is awesome because I could turn off the Phoenix's flight, and Frenzy's good just because who doesn't want Frenzy? As for my shadow spells, I didn't think I should have thought twice about this one. I took Devouring Darkness, but then I realized his whole units are initiative 5 and 6s. They're probably not going to get sucked into any warps. I should have switched that one to the signature, and I forgot what other spell I got, but I'm pretty sure it would have been better off than what I took right now. Over here, you can see I actually lined up pushed back again. This is to, again, like I said in a couple of my other videos, I have the shooting advantage. I have the ranged advantage. I have a couple things going on here. One is I have the front line of my forest goblins closest to the forest, but also pretty much as the first wave. So when these guys come in, of course the forest goblins are going to be shooting, but they're going to be stubborn in the forest. It allows me to get a chance to cover, or not cover, counter charge if I need to. I do have the giant and the dragon rammer on the right flank. He does have a couple like birds and eagles and whatchamacallit, those lane reavers on the right side. And then I also have dead center my Orc horde. Just to the right of them is my Goblins with the Cave Goblins. Cave Goblins could protect that flank no problem. No problem, because they got Fanatics or Madgits, and the Madgits will just toss out there and it'll screw up whoever's coming up to that flank. Now, to the left of the Orc horde, I have my War Machines, and the War Machines are actually protected by my Gnasher herd. Now, granted, anybody could kill the Gnashers, make them blow up and whatever, and they have a free reign to all my War Machines, but my General's sitting right to the left of the War Machines, kind of just chilling behind the building. He's chilling behind the building because he doesn't want to get shot by those freaking bolt throwers, to be honest. And then far left, my A-Rock is just going to fly up to the left side and just handle his own. He'll be fine. So as you can see here, Chicken Head's going to be up over on that side as well. He's just going to take care of his business on that side, and I do have some chaff on that side as well to try. Chicken Head and the chaff are both going for the bolt throwers. That's what they're doing. As you can see, he lined up this way. He has bolt thrower, knights, bolt throwers, Coast Guard, and then his 2 combat blocks and the Phoenix are in the center. And then on the right side, he has Lane Reavers, Eagle, and then he has his 2 chariots coming up, kind of clean up. So I do have a Vanguard. I have Chicken Head come out on the Vanguard. And you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand, I can still Vanguard with the Scuttler Spiders, and that's 12-inch distance, right? So instead of scouting, I just took the Vanguard, and because it's fast cav. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, but whatever. So I just Vanguarded up with Chicken Head. He goes ahead and he Vanguards up with both his units over on this side here. All 3 of his units on this side with the Lane Reavers. And it's going to be turn 1. Now, he did drop his whole army first. And again, this is kind of the reason why I just kind of sat back and put my guys as far back as I could. But he did win the first turn. And sure enough, he's going to go ahead and move up his Lane Reavers all around my guys, as you can see. Now, one thing I didn't think about was he's going to shoot at my Giant, and little strength 3 bows, if they get a lot of 6s, they're going to hurt my Giant right off the beginning. So I was just like, oh, this is going to suck. Over here, he did move up all his combat blocks to come straight forward, and then he moved his Lane Reavers over there right next to Chicken Head. I'm like, whatever, Chicken Head. He actually is doing it to chaff up Chicken Head so I don't charge into that bolt thrower right away. But this is kind of how he moved up on his turn. He didn't move the Sea Guard. I don't think he moved the Sea Guard because he wanted to shoot. And I was just like, whatever. Magic Phase, he got 8 power dice. He's going to go ahead and throw up, what is this, regen on these guys over here. And was it regen? I think it was regen. I forgot what it was. It might have just been like a magic move or something. I don't know. He took the Lore Master where he gets all like the level signature spells for every level or every army. Then he started bitching about, it sucks that they lowered it. His level 2 doesn't count as a +2 to the cast. I'm like, yeah, but they lowered the spell by 1, so it's technically still the level 2. So he's like, oh, whatever. Anyways, I don't remember what they got. It wasn't really that important at this point of the game. He's going to go ahead and start off his shooting phase with the Sea Guard, or the Coast Guard, and the Coast Guard are going to shoot all these shots at the Chicken Head, and they actually wound Chicken Head once. God damn it. It's like he has a 2 up armor, and he gets a 1, and then he gets a 4 up ward, and he gets a 1. What the hell? God damn it. Just luck like that. Anyways, he's going to go ahead and start shooting with the Bolt Thrower, and he goes ahead and shoots at the A-Rock, and it's a far shot. He gets to it, he hits it, but he doesn't even wound it. So A-Rock's cool, and that's it. His Lane Reavers failed to shoot my Giant, and I think his other spell he casted, I dispel scrolled it because I was afraid he was going to kill my level 1 Shaman right away. So it's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins turn 1. I'm going to go ahead and charge with my Giant here. Now I realize I'm playing his chaff game. My thought process is they have an 8 leadership. They're nowhere near the BSB. If they flee now, they're going to flee in that angle, and they'll probably get close to the edge of the board. And if they fail their possible roll, that they'll just fly off the board. So I was kind of hoping that he flees, and sure enough, I'm going to fail charge and just stumble forward. Over on this side, the Wolf Riders. The Raiders, they're going to go ahead and charge into the side flank of those Lane Reavers that are chaffing up Chicken Head. I was hoping he would have fleed on those so I could get a clear shot at the bolt thrower. But he was smart enough to stay, and he stand and shoots actually, and he's gonna clip one of the dogs. And sure enough, they're gonna go ahead, since they're not gonna move. I'm gonna go ahead and charge with chicken head as well. And he's just like, oh shit, I should have thought this one better. So they're all in. Chicken head's on top of that tray now, like, haha, I got a little unit to play with. Over here, as you can see, I just moved up the goblins, the forest goblins. One thing I got to think of here too is if the goblins were to flee, to give them enough space to flee behind the orcs and then stay on the table. That's one thing I really got to think of when I set this up, because I don't want them just falling off the table because I didn't leave them enough room. But I didn't move anybody up. I'm not going into combat with a combat army right away if I could shoot him. I did move the A-Rock up a little bit because he's in range to start web launching people. And then I did move my general up here. I was playing with the line of sight to see if his white lions or his lion guard could see my general, and they can't in that spot specifically. He's still in an 18-inch bubble to reach the forest goblins. That's exactly like 18 inches. So as long as I don't lose like 11 or 12 guys, they should be fine for being stubborn in the forest still at a 10 leadership. Magic Phase got 5 power dice. I go ahead and I throw up Curse of the Wildwood. He dispels it, and then I don't even remember what I threw up next, but he dispelled it as well. I go ahead and I shoot the web launcher to start off the shooting phase. I shoot it right at the sword masters, and it drifts off this way. God damn it! I go ahead and I shoot the splatterer at the giant bird. Screw that blue bird, and it gets a direct misfire. I get a 6. It takes a wound, and I mean, that's the best one I could get actually out of the misfire chart. Over here I shoot my Git launcher at these guys, and part of the reason was because if these guys charge my forest goblins, I'm screwed. I can't beat these guys in close combat with a 2-up armor against my forest goblins. It's not going to do shit. So I go ahead and I shoot them with the Git launcher, and BAM! Kill off 4 of them. Only 1 left remaining there. That sucks. He does pass his panic though, and the other Git launcher shot at actually the sword masters. I wasn't gonna go ahead and focus on these guys over there, and I hit the sword masters and it kills off 3 of them. That's pretty cool. These guys over here, they're gonna have to start shooting with their short bows because they're too far, and they end up killing off 1 more sword master. My whole point is just to start lowering the amount of sword masters that are there entirely. But that was it for my shooting phase. Over here, his Elaine Reaver kills one of my Goblin Raiders. My Goblin Raiders and Chicken Head kill off 3 of them. They're going to go ahead and panic and flee. I don't think I wanted to overrun. I think I tried to restrain with Chicken Head. No, actually, I chased with Chicken Head on purpose to hit the Knights because I don't want those Knights countercharging on his turn. But I sit the Raiders back, actually. And his Reavers get away. But it's fine because they're at 2 left out of 5. Actually, it's not okay. They'll rally easy. But I didn't care really because I wanted Chicken Head to get in over there. Turn 2, Highborn Elves. He's going to go ahead and try to charge his... Oh, that was the other spell I did. I actually did the Raging Storm on his Phoenix. So his Phoenix is literally now just a movement 2. He cannot fly closer. That spell I did get off. For some reason I didn't take a picture though. So his Phoenix is a movement 2. He gets literally a 14-inch charge into my Goblins. He's trying to force them to flee on purpose. But like I said, they're still in the general bubble, so they don't flee. I stand and shoot, and he's going to fail charge anyways. I don't think I got a wound off. I think he ward saved whatever I did. Over here, he's going to go ahead and charge with his Sea Guard, and I'm just like, or a Coast Guard, and I'm just like, go ahead, man. I'm going to flee. And I know I'm going to take the hit here, but I'm going to flee off the table, and he's going to go ahead and fail charge anyways. And he tries to redirect right into my General, and when he does so... he's going to fail that charge as well. I should have actually sat there with the Wolf Riders, let him get positioning, and then double charge him with the General and the Gargantula. That would have been interesting. But whatever. I didn't do it. Over here he's charging his Elaine Reavers into the rear end of my Orc chariot. We're saying that's dangerous terrain, but he's saying he could take his 90-degree turn and still get into the rear, and we were trying to figure out if it's a rear charge or a side charge. It was definitely a rear charge. And he gets in over here, and as you can see, his guys failed charge over here. He goes ahead and moves everybody up, and the Phoenix failed charge, obviously. He moves everybody up like so, and then he moves his eagles over here. They're coming for my war machines. They're coming for my goblins. I don't know what the hell they're coming for. They're coming over this way. Magic Phase, he got 6 power dice. He's going to go ahead and throw up Shadow Miasma onto my Orc Chariot. He doesn't want my Orcs to have a good weapon skill. He wants me to, he has a charge, a rear charge, and he's planning on just forcing me to flee based on not doing damage. I'm like, okay. So he does that. I let it go through, and then the other spell he goes off, and he debuffs Chickenhead's leadership. He does Blizzard. Lowers his leadership and weapon skill by 1 or minus the hit by 1. But when he does that one, it miscasts. I use my Backlash Scroll. Now, this is something it's the first time I used the Backlash Scroll, but it forces a Dispel, which causes him to lose the rest of his dice, which that's what I'm looking forward to when I do it. But he has the War Banner of Rima, which allows him to get a ward save against magic stuff, right? He is going to blow up a chunk here, and he ends up losing 4 of his guards because of it, his Lion Guards. The one thing, though, is I have to pick a more opportune time to do this. Like when he uses a 3 or 4 dice spell, that's probably the best bet when I could use it, because he's going to get a higher strength off and lose more dice. So that's when I got to use that scroll. But anyways, I did it here. I thought it would have been a good time. Let him get the Blizzard off. Truthfully, the 2 miscasts I want is obviously the one where he gets sucked into the warp, which wasn't going to happen on 2 or 3 dice. Okay? But the other one is the one where he loses his levels and loses his spells, because that's the one that's really going to make a difference if he starts losing spells. So, over here, it starts off shooting phase, and at the start of the shooting phase, my maggots come out if there's an enemy within 8 inches, and guess what? They're standing right there. So I go ahead and I send all my maggots through his Elaine Reavers. I knew I was going to do this a long time ago. That's why I was like, yeah, go ahead, do your Shadow Miasma. And they went right through and they just destroyed that whole unit. One got on top of the rocks, one stopped before the rocks, and one tried to get to the eagle. Didn't happen. Over here, his shooting, he's going to go start shooting his bolt throwers at my general, and it wounds, and he ward saves it. Over here, these Elaine Reavers are shooting at my giant, and they do 2 wounds onto my giant. That sucks. And then over here, he I think this is starting off close combat. Close combat, Chickenhead kills one of the dragon knights of Rima. And they fail to wound Chickenhead. I charged, I did 1 wound. He has a banner. He's going to stick there for a round. That sucks. And then that's basically how the table looks right now. It's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins turn 2. The A-Rock is going for a long charge into those knights. I figured I needed some help because Chickenhead has that lower weapon skill or lower to hit thing, and Chickenhead could use some help with the A-Rock. If the A-Rock hits him and wounds him, or if they overrun, he'll overrun into the Lane Reavers, then eventually overrun into the Bolt Thrower. So I'm like, that'll be actually pretty nice. And the A-Rock fails the charge. God damn. He rolled a 2, 2, and a 1. He didn't even need that much. I think he needed like a 7 on 3 dice Swift Stride, and he rolled a 2, 2, and a 1. Over here, the Dragon Rammer rams into his chariot. Even though it goes through the forest, no, actually, I think he skimmed the forest. But that's just so that way I'd rather charge him before he charges me. The giant, I believe, didn't charge. He's just moving up, even though he knows he's about to take a charge from his lion chariot. The maggot, one got killed in the rocks. The other 2 are just totally fine, just going around doing nothing. And then, as you can see, I moved my forest goblins just to get a little better positioning to do tomahawks, double tapping tomahawks. And I'm still sitting in the back lines. My general flew over everybody to go into the forest behind everybody. It sets me up for a nice rear charge. It sets me up for a nice flank attack. I'll be able to kill a good chunk of guys before he does a damn thing. And I don't have to charge right away, to be honest. I went in the forest specifically, even though it's dangerous for me to charge out of a forest, because I didn't want to get bolt throwered. I want to lower his accuracy. Magic Phase got 5 power dice, and I throw up 3 dice onto Evil Eye. And I did this just to get rid of one of the eagles. So I pop one of the eagles that kills him, and just because he was getting dangerously close to my war machines and my level 1 shaman. I go ahead and I throw up 3 dice onto, I think this is Curse of the Wildwood, and he dispels it. I go ahead and I start off with the Rock Lobber. The Rock Lobber shoots at the giant phoenix again, and it gets a direct hit. Yes! Hits him, wounds him, does 6, or doesn't do 6. It does, only 1? Is that right? Yeah, it only did 1 wound. God damn it! Oh man, that sucks. It only did 1 wound. Over here, my Git launchers, both of them are shooting at the Swordmasters. Again, got to lower the Swordmasters, and I end up killing 8 of them with both Git launcher shots. That's great. I go ahead and I shoot with the Forest Goblins. Forest Goblins kill off 1 more, and then I shoot with these Goblins, and these Goblins actually, Goblins are actually shooting at one of the Eagles, and they do 1 wound onto the Eagle, and that's it for shooting. Close combat, Chicken Head fails to wound a single Knight of Rima. I got a couple wounds off. I got poison, and something else, and he just armor saved him because they're like 2-up armor or 1-up armor. So he's gonna go ahead and sit there. I fail because he has a banner and a musician, and I'm gonna run on my shitty leadership, and I run this way. He doesn't catch me. He rolls really shitty, and it's like Chicken Head's going up to the A-Rock, and he's like, "Tag, you're in." But that sucks because he's going to be able to charge me now in the next turn. Over here, my impact hits alone did 3 wounds. He ends up failing to wound me, and I end up just finishing him off with my orcs on top. And I decide to overrun just because if I sit there, he's going to obviously flank charge my orc chariot in the next turn. So I probably, in all honesty, I probably should have just done that. I probably should have just sat there, took the hit with the 95 points, but it would have gave him his flank up on, even though it's just Forest Goblins, but still. Huh, that's interesting. But sure enough, I overrun this way. As you can see, I did move my giant up a little bit behind the building, hoping to get out of sight of that chariot. But it's going to start off his turn, Highborn Elves turn 3, and my giant was not out of view of his lion chariot. He can still see my ass, and he's going to charge into my giant, and my giant is immune to psychology, cannot flee. He's charging his eagle past my goblins towards my shaman, and I'm like, you know what? It's a dead shaman if I just sit there, so I'm going to flee, and I'm going to flee through my unit. I don't care. I have about 8 inches before I could touch the board edge of the table, so as long as I roll under 8, he's not going on a swift stride. I'm not going to go ahead and fail, and he's going to fail his charge. So I go ahead and I do it, and I roll a 7, and I stay on the table. Woohoo! He decides, he's like, well, screw it, I'm going to redirect, and he redirects his eagle into my forest goblins, and I'm like, oh shit, that's going to happen. There goes all my shooting. The knights charged into the A-Rock over here, and well, they first charged into Chicken Head to force him to flee further, and Chicken Head fled past the building, and he's still good, but the A-Rock, he charged into the A-Rock and got in. And then these guys, since the eagle was going in, they decided they're all going in. I think it might have been a good time to flee, but I was like, screw it, stand and shoot, and I stand and shot at the eagle, I think, actually, or at the phoenix actually, before I did the swordmaster, because I didn't know the swordmaster was going in. He said he's doing it with the phoenix, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna stand and shoot and hit the phoenix and try to get some wounds off before I die. So he gets in over here, and yeah, that's gonna get ugly. And of course he got in over here. He's gonna go ahead and move up his lion guard. He's gonna go ahead and he tried to swift reform with his Coast Guard, but they failed the leadership check, and they just turned. Magic phase, he got 11 power dice. He's going to go ahead and throw up. See, this is the phase right here, 11 power dice. This is the phase I should be using that backlash scroll, because now it's going to hurt. So first thing he does Shadow Miasma to lower my weapon skill on my orcs, because he figures if my goblins break, I have a nice counter charge with all my my whole horde. So he's lowering my weapon skill. He goes ahead and gets double 6s though, and what did he do? He did something else with the double 6s, but he's only going to take 1 wound here. So yeah, so he threw up another spell. It was a hex onto my orc horde, and I'm just like, you know what? Let it go. I can't really. He screwed up my counter charge, which is what he wanted to do, but he got a miscast, and when he got a miscast, it was magical feedback, and it ends up wounding his general. So his general only has 1 wound remaining. And then over here, shooting phase, he's going to go ahead and shoot both his bolt throwers at my general. One misses. I'm like, whatever. The second one hits. It wounds. It goes through my armor, and it goes through my ward, and it does 3 wounds. Oh, man, this is what everybody talks about. Everybody's like, oh, you didn't put your general on a flying mount because you're an easy target. And sure enough, he actually got the wound off on my general. And I'm like, oh, that sucks, man. It sucks that it was 3 wounds, because now my general only has 1 wound remaining, and I was going for a rear charge, and not only that, I have to charge out of the woods, which is going to cause me to have a take dangerous terrains. That sucks. Alright, anyways, his Elaine Reavers are going to go ahead and shoot at my goblins here. They kill off 2 goblins. And his knights go ahead and hit my A-Rock, and they do 4 wounds onto my A-Rock. My A-Rock goes and kills off 3 knights. Oh, the last guy goes, and he sits there. He doesn't run, but sure enough, that put a good dent in his knights. Over here, his impact hits, does 1 wound. His white lions on top go, and they kill off the giant, of course. And then over here, everything's going, and they're killing off all my goblins. They kill off like 9 goblins here. My goblins do 1 more wound onto the eagle over here. They end up killing one swordmaster, and that is it. Wow. That sucks. It's going to look like this right here at the end of his turn. It's going to go ahead and start off Orcs and Goblins' turn. What is this, 3, I think? I'm going to go ahead and charge. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to go ahead and charge. I'm going to call out the Wog. Actually, I don't think I called out the Wog. Maybe I called out the Wog, but I'm charging my general into the back end of his Phoenix. Just because I think the Phoenix, it doesn't have 1 wound. I think it has 1 wound remaining. But sure enough, I'm just thinking about it like, maybe it didn't have 1 wound remaining. I don't remember. But I was thinking of it like this way. I could get a charge in. I could get a rear. The Eagle's not that great of a weapon skill. He's hitting me on 4s or 5s, and I could lower his stat line. The only problem is his Eagle has an aura that makes me strike last, or strike -3 initiative, which is still striking last compared to him. But if I could live all of his attacks, I do have a good armor save. I do have a good ward save. I could probably kill that bird with my general. That's what I'm thinking. So I'm like, alright, so I charge into the rear of the Phoenix. It's risky, but I'll do it. I charge my goblins into the eagle just to kill him, and again, it's going to chaff up his swordmasters if they do kill the forest goblins. And I charge my gnashers into his white lions, his lion guard. Alright, now over here, my maggots are just flying around doing nothing. And then over here, Chicken Head does run off the table. God damn it, Chicken Head. He failed an easy 8, and he got like a 9 or a 10, and he just ran off the table. Magic phase, I got 4 dice. 4. Come on, man. This is the phase I needed a shit ton of dice. And you know what I do? I try to skim it by. I go and I do 2 dice onto Shadow Miasma. I was going for the big spell too, and I got an 8 out of a 9. I should have focused this energy. I really, honestly, 100% honest with you, I should have focused the energy on Shadow Miasma. Just throw like 4 dice onto it, because he already wasted his Dispel Scroll. And I went to go ahead and I throw, since I failed that one, I threw Curse of the Wildwood, and he dispels me with his dice roll off, and I can't do shit about it. But if I were to focus my dice all on Shadow Miasma onto his Lion Horde, they're going to go ahead and strike last compared to my Gnashers. But instead, now his Lion Guard are going to go ahead and strike before. But whatever. Now I live and learn. The good news is, and this is part of the thing I was looking at before I fought Dan, was his Lion Guard are actually initiative 5, where the Swordmasters are initiative 6. So Swordmasters are more of a gamble to have against the Gnashers if I try to get the Shadow Miasma off. If I get the Shadow Miasma off, I need to get a 2 or higher on taking it down. Whereas if I was just to focus on the Lion Guard, I could get more. Even if I lower it by 1, my Gnashers are all going to attack before they start dying in swarms. Anyways, shooting, my Splatterer shoots over here, hits the freaking the bolt thrower, and he's pissed at the bolt thrower. It drifts just 2 inches, but it still hits it, direct hit basically, and kills it with a 3-wounder, and it's a goner. That's what you get for shooting my general, you asshole. Over here, my get launcher not misfire, just drifts off over here to the middle of nowhere, try to hit the chariot, and then over here, close combat, my A-Rock just ate that last guy. He was pretty hungry. Over here, he goes ahead and he starts swinging with all his line guard. Now look at this. I had 27 Nashers. I would get 37 attacks and probably eat a good 15 of those guys or 14 of those guys or more, you know what I mean? Maybe even 20 guys. But he gets to swing first, and he goes ahead and kills off 15 or 16 of my Nashers. That sucks. I go ahead and I'm like, you know what, screw this. I'm going to go ahead and attack his general. So I focus 4 of the Nashers onto his general alone, or 3 of my Nashers, and they eat the general. I'm like, screw it, at least he has no more magic to cast. And then I go ahead and I start eating some more of his Lion Guard, and I ate 3, 6, 7, 8, 9. And sure enough, I still lose. I'm going to blow up, and when I blow up, I take out a chunk around me, and this is how it looks over here. The Nashers ate 1 more Lion Guard. They ate 2 wounds. There it goes. 2 wounds onto the Phoenix. They ate 2 of the Sword Masters, and they ate 4 of my Goblins. Oh, that was awesome, though. I'll gladly trade 4 Goblins for eating 2 wounds on a Phoenix, 2 Sword Masters, and a Lion. Over here, close combat. He's just going to destroy my Goblins. They're dead. And, they're gonna. My Goblins killed his eagle. They're out of combat now, though. I don't think I push on this. I think I just eat the eagle, and then we just kind of have the standoff right here. That's how I was playing it. And then my general goes, and he goes ahead and he swings with all his swings. He gets 1 attack in. That 1 attack wounded. I have a 2-up armor that's gonna go to a 4-up armor. I roll it. I fail it. I'm like, all right, well, I got a 50-50 chance I'm gonna get a 4-up on my ward, and I roll it. And I fail it. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta be kidding me. God damn it. My general died by himself. He died by getting shot by a freaking bolt thrower, and he died by getting freaking eaten by the Phoenix. He shouldn't have died on both of those. He shouldn't. I mean, that was just shit. I actually passed the charges, dangerous terrain charge too, and that I thought it was gonna kill me, but I got in. I was like, all right, I could do this. It was a gamble, but man, it did not pay off. I took a hit, and my general's dead. That sucks. We lost our generals, both our generals on my turn. It's gonna start off Highborn Elves turn 4. He's gonna go ahead and charge his Lion Chariot into the side flank of my Orcs. He's gonna go ahead and charge his Sword Masters and he charges his Eagle, his Phoenix, into my Goblins, and they flee from panic, and I don't have my general's bubble anymore, and so they're gonna flee, and I'm pretty sure, no, they get away, and he redirects all his forces into my Orcs. That sucks. I've even contemplated fleeing here myself, but I didn't have that much room to flee. So he goes ahead, and I'm like, well, you have to take dangerous terrain for charging your Eagle through the forest, and he does, and his Phoenix dies. That's awesome. His Phoenix died to the trees. But he is going to get all his combat blocks in, and that's going to suck. There's no magic. He's going to go into shooting. He's going to shoot all these shots into my Dragon Rammer, and he ends up doing 1 wound onto the Dragon Rammer. This guy is going to go ahead and shoot at the A-Rock, and he misses. And then close combat. All these guys are in here. This sucks. Impact hits, kills off 2 guys. His Sword Masters and his White Lions are all hitting before me. I don't have any debuffs on them, and they wipe out about 30 of my Orcs. That's just nuts. I'm going to go ahead and attack back. I only kill off a couple of his White Lions. I try to focus more on the White Lions than anything else, but I just couldn't do shit. I am stubborn. I did use my Crown or Scepter of Dominion. I'm going to sit there for a round, but it's just not looking pretty. And that's about it. It's going to start off Orcs and Goblins turn 4. I'm going to go ahead and charge my A-Rock into his side flank of his Coast Guard. I'm like, screw it. They're just sitting there. I might as well try to make up some points. So I charge in, get into the side flank, and they're going to sit there. My Dragon Rammer's reaching for his last Bolt Thrower. Over here, I did rally my Gobos. And then I think that's about it. Magic Phase got 5 power dice. I'm gonna go ahead and I throw up. What is that? Oh, Curse of the Wildwood on these guys, so they have -1 to hit. I go ahead and I throw up Shadow Miasma on these guys and lower their weapon skill. And I think I did the big spell. I try to lower everything, the initiative and weapon skill, and I lower it by 3. And shooting phase, I'm going to go ahead and just shoot these mad gets at whatever I can that could get me points at the moment. Really didn't hit anything. They both flew off and did nothing. My splatterer goes, tries to shoot at the last bolt thrower, and it just drifts off and misses. Alright. Close combat over here. My A-Rock goes nuts. He eats up like, what is that, 7 guys, and they fail to wound me at all. They can't wound me at all. And so he's going to go ahead and take his test. He is steadfast, though. He's like a steadfast on an elf leadership, which is pretty good. And he fails. There's no BSB around, and that whole unit runs from the A-Rock, and the A-Rock just chases him down and eats the whole fucking unit. God. That's my A-Rock right there, man. That's why he is a staple in my army. He ate a whole fucking unit of Coast Guard, and you see Dan's face like, "Are you gotta be kidding me, man?" Over here, these guys just wiped the floor with the rest of my orcs. My orcs could not kill enough. He ends up doing a wound onto my BSB, kills off my BSB, and then he eventually has my Shaman run, and that, I believe, is the end of the game. It was a very fun game. Kind of frustrating. I mean, I think the biggest mistake I made was just not lowering the initiative on the Lion Guard, because if I could have actually killed the Lion Guard with my Gnasher Herd. I honestly believe I could kill the Lion Guard with my Gnasher Herd as long as I could get the initiative down and get some debuffs on them. Not even any real debuffs, minus just the initiative. If I could get the initiative down, if I could just get a big Shadow Miasma, take down his weapon skill and initiative, my Gnasher Herd should be able to eat up majority of those Lion Guard, which is a very interesting concept to me, especially since a lot of the times in these tournaments you fight Highborn Elf players. The Sword Masters do prove to be an issue. I shot at him, and I shot at him, and I shot at him, and as you can see, he still has like a good 15 or 20 of them left. And that was my whole theory, was to just focus fire on those guys. Originally, my plan was for Chickenhead to chase down one of the chariots, and then for the Madgets to kill another chariot. That really didn't happen. My chariot did take out one of his chariots. A-Rock went. That was actually the initial target for my A-Rock, was his Coast Guard, because I figured he could take him out solo. Even if he stuck there for 2-3 rounds, my A-Rock would have just been eating him, and he has a hard time actually wounding my A-Rock. So that was actually something I was really planning on from like scratch. My Orcs were supposed to be the backup after all the rounds of shooting on his Sword Masters, and eventually get in. Shooting on the White Lions really doesn't do anything, really. The units that I wasn't really expecting to be on the table was like the Phoenix and the Knights of Rima. Those two proved to be a nuisance to me. So that's kind of the wild card, more or less. And then I did have the Wolf Riders there for chaff cleanup or to go for those bolt throwers. But overall, even though I did lose pretty big, and my general died like a dumbass, I don't think I did that bad. My giant did kind of get. My giant was supposed to help out on, I believe, the flank of the Sword Masters. That's why he was on the right. And then I was going to let the Goblins go in first, the first wave, and then eventually the giant goes in with the Orcs. But that didn't happen. That just didn't happen. I do feel like the giant is a target. Every time somebody sees the giant, they shoot at him. He's became my new Mangler Squig, basically. And every time somebody sees him, they're just focusing on the giant because they're worried about like a good Thunderstomp strength 6 or I don't know what they're worried about. He doesn't do much. I know he doesn't do much. I know he's very fluffy, and I know that one of you guys is going to mention on my video to get rid of him. But I like him. I feel like it adds some flavor to the army. And it's not that many points. That's one of the things I try to justify. It's like if I take another character, he's not stubborn, leadership 10. If I take a unit, they're not stubborn, and they do get more wounds, but not by much. And then a lot of the units are starting to get really pricey after that. You got the initial core out of the way. So I do feel like he does have even if he is soaking up cannon fire for a turn or two, I think he's still worth what I play him for. As for my MVP, this is just going straight to my A-Rock. he was just he was just a staple. He just took out the 4 or 5 knights. He took out a whole unit of Coast Guard in one turn. Second up was my Git launchers. They did a good job. They took out one of those units of knights, whatever they are now, the old silver helms, and then they started picking off sword masters, and they were doing a good job just taking out people. And then the other, all 3 of the war machines, because the splatterer did take out one of the bolt throwers, like wham, just took him out, and he did wound the phoenix, which eventually led to the phoenix dying in the trees. Then next up, actually, in usefulness was actually those forest goblins again, the bushwhackers. The bushwhackers were in those trees, just like picking at people, and they're annoying. I know they're gonna die every game. I know they're gonna die every game because I put them in the trees, put them blocking my lines, and just take up a turn of shooting. But I think that they're worth it. And then the Nashers, they did a great job. They just blew up and took out a good chunk of people with them. My general, I failed to use him and utilize him correctly. My orc shaman didn't get off his good spells that he needed to get off. I was trying to give frenzy to the unit of Nashers as well, but I got a very low shitty magic phase that one turn, and then my orc hordes just sucked it up, man. That sucks. But overall, it was a fun game. I actually play another game against Dan in my next video, but not with the same list. I change it up. I take out the Wyvern boss. I take out, I think, like a Git launcher and some other stuff, and I throw in a huge block of boar boys, boar Ed Bashers, and they're going to be my center line with my general and the BSB in that unit, and that's going to be in the next game, guys. So stay tuned. Watch that video, and then after that I have one more game against my brother and his ogre army. Alright guys, take care, and I'll see you then. If you haven't hit like and subscribe, hit it already, and if you guys have any feedback, just leave it down below. I'd love to hear your feedback. Take care, and peace.